Families in India say they've recovered the body of an American who was killed by an isolated island tribe that is known for attacking outsiders.
Some places in the world are off limits to us. These restricted areas include ancient sites with interesting histories or modern locations that are very dangerous. While some are restricted to shield people from danger, others are declared off limits to protect government secrets locked away within their walls. What are the secrets hidden in these forbidden places? Join us on this wild adventure as we take you through 15 forbidden places you're not allowed to visit. Number 15. Lascaux Caves, France. The Lascaux Caves in France, known for its priceless art believed to be around 17,000 years old, has been closed to visitors since 1963. This decision was made because the art faced threats from fungal invasions due to the large number of visitors. Earlier, on September 12, 1940, 18-year-old Marcel Ravida had discovered the entrance to the Lascaux Cave on the La Rochefoucauld-Montbel land. His dog, Robot, had initially found the hole left by an uprooted tree. Marcel later returned with 3 friends, Jacques Marsal, Georges Agnel, and Simon Coancas. They entered the cave through a 15-meter deep shaft, hoping it might connect to the nearby Lascaux Manor. Inside, they discovered the walls decorated with animal drawings and named various sections, such as the Hall of the Bulls, the Passageway, the Shaft, the Nave, and the Chamber of Felines. On September 21, 1940, they went back with Abbé Henri Breuil, who created many sketches of the cave. These sketches are still used for study today, as the original paintings have significantly deteriorated. However, the cave was opened to the public on July 14, 1948, and this led to problems. The breadth of 1,200 visitors a day, along with the added light and changed airflow, led to issues. Lichens and crystals began growing on the cave walls. Because of this, the cave was closed to visitors in 1963. Only a few visitors were allowed each week, and a replica cave was made for tourists. In 2001, the cave's air conditioning system was upgraded to better control the temperature and humidity. However, this change led to a rapid spread of Fusarium solani, a white mold, on the cave's ceiling and walls. It was thought that the mold was already in the cave soil and became active due to the changes. The mold was treated with quicklime. Despite this, a new fungus started spreading in 2007, creating gray and black spots in the cave. By 2008, black mold had appeared, causing authorities to close the cave for 3 months, even to scientists and preservationists. At that time, only one person was allowed to enter the cave for 20 minutes each week to inspect the conditions. Nowadays, just a handful of scientists are permitted to visit the cave for a few days each month. Attempts to remove the mold have caused dark patches and damage to the paintings. By the year 2009, the mold problem was reported as stable, and in 2011, stricter conservation measures seemed to help, with the fungus showing signs of retreat. In response to these ongoing issues, the French Ministry of Culture held an international forum in Paris. The event brought together nearly 300 experts from 17 countries to discuss how to preserve the cave. In May 2018, a new fungus called Ochroconus lascausensis was named after the cave, following an earlier discovery of a similar fungus. The following year, black spots started showing up on the paintings. Since then, there has been no official update on how the treatments for the mold are progressing. The problem continues, and efforts to control the mold and other issues are ongoing. These challenges have led to the creation of an international scientific committee for Lascaux and a re-evaluation of how much human access should be allowed in caves with ancient art. This occasion revealed that any human presence is destructive to the caves. So to preserve 900 examples of prehistoric art dating back to the Paleolithic era, tourists can't come in there anymore, but replicas have been put in place for public viewing. Number 14. Surtsey Island. In a remote corner of the world lies Surtsey, an untouched volcanic island in Iceland. Born from a volcanic eruption in 1963, this island came into existence after nearly 4 years of underwater activity. Today, Surtsey stands as a unique natural lab. It is strictly off-limits to everyone. No one can visit, swim in its waters, or disturb its environment. This strict protection helps the island's plants, animals, and landforms develop naturally without human interference. Even nearby construction is carefully controlled to keep the environment safe. Over the years, erosion has slowly chipped away at Surtsee's size, but it remains a valuable site for scientific study. Researchers closely monitor Surtsee and are prepared to address any potential threats, such as oil spills, that could jeopardize its condition. Despite limited access, Surtsee captivates many with its story, representing a rare example of nature existing entirely free from human interference. Number 13. Ise Grand Shrine. Japan is well known around the world for its shrine culture and has about 80,000 shrines. However, the most significant of these is the Ise Grand Shrine. It is one of the most expensive temples in Japan due to its architectural grandeur. To maintain the Shinto traditions dating back to the 8th century, this temple is rebuilt every 20 years. And that comes with $1 million price tag. The Ise Shrine, located in Ise-mi Prefecture of Japan, is a Shinto shrine dedicated to the solar goddess Amaterasu. Officially known simply as Jingu, Ise Shrine is a shrine complex composed of many Shinto shrines centered on two main shrines, Naiku and Geku. The inner shrine, Naiku, also officially known as Kotai Jingu, is dedicated to the worship of Amaterasu and is located in the town of Ujitachi, south of central Ise, where she is believed to dwell. The shrine buildings are made of solid cypress wood and use no nails but instead joined wood. The outer shrine, Geku, also officially known as Toyuke Daijingu, is located about 6 kilometers from Naiku and dedicated to Toyuke Omikami, the god of agriculture, rice harvest, and industry. Besides Naiku and Geku, there are an additional 123 Shinto shrines in Ise City and the surrounding areas, 91 of them connected to Naiku and 32 to Geku. Purportedly the home of the sacred mirror, the shrine is one of Shinto's holiest and most important sites. Access to both sites is strictly limited. Only those who are members of the royal family and the general public are allowed beyond sight of the thatched roofs of the central structures, hidden behind 4 tall wooden fences. However, visitors are free to roam the forest, including its ornamental walkways, which date back to the Meiji period. During the Edo period, it is estimated that 1 out of 10 Japanese conducted an Okage-Meri pilgrimage to the shrine. Accordingly, pilgrimage to the shrine flourished in both commercial and religious frequency. According to historical documents, 3.62 million people visited the shrine in 50 days in 1625, and 1.18 million people visited the shrine in 3 days in 1829 when the grand festival held every 20 years was held. Because the shrine is considered a sanctuary, no security checkpoints were conducted, as it was considered sacrilege by the faithful. The 2 main shrines of Ise are joined by a pilgrimage road that passes through the old entertainment district of Furuichi. The chief priest or priestess of Ise Shrine must be related to the Imperial House of Japan and is responsible for overseeing the shrine. The current high priestess of the shrine is the daughter of Emperor Emeritus Akihito, former Princess Sayako Kuroda. Number 12. Heard Island and McDonald Island. Heard Island and McDonald Island, as it is fondly called by some people, had a very long history, with it being discovered only in the mid-1850s. In November 1853, an American sailor named John Heard noticed the island while he was sailing from Boston to Melbourne. 6 weeks later, William McDonald discovered McDonald Island. On December 26, 1947, 2 years after World War II ended, the United Kingdom relinquished these islands to Australia, and they were given their current names as a way of appreciating their discoverers. They became part of this organization's list in the year. Heard Island and McDonald Island are both home to Mawson Peak, which is an active volcano. These are the only volcanic islands in Australian territory that are still active. Although Mawson Peak is considered the highest mountain in Australia with its height of 9,006 feet, it has been inactive for about 75,000 years before becoming active again over the last 10 years, with its latest eruption happening in 2016. Furthermore, the last time a volcano erupted on McDonald Island was in 2005, making this place larger by almost 2.5 square meters. There are no harbors on the island, so ships must anchor offshore. Located between Madagascar and Antarctica, Heard Island is one of the most remote places on Earth and belongs to Australia. It is home to seals, penguins, marine birds, and over 40 glaciers. Because of its extreme weather and the threat of volcanic eruptions, the island is off limits to tourists. Additionally, its isolation means that travelers must spend at least 2 weeks by ship to reach any nearby continent. Number 11. North Brother Island. This island is found on the East River in New York City, squeezed between the Bronx and Rikers Island. This 13-acre island has a history that might give you goosebumps. The island was empty until 1885 when the city bought it to build Riverside Hospital. The hospital was intended to treat patients with contagious diseases like typhus, tuberculosis, yellow fever, and smallpox. One of its most infamous patients was Typhoid Mary Mallon, who became known as the first person in the United States to carry typhoid fever bacteria without showing any symptoms. In 1907, after it was discovered that 7 of the 8 families she had cooked for had experienced typhoid outbreaks, medical authorities quarantined Mallon at Riverside Hospital. Even though Mary Mallon showed no symptoms, tests confirmed she carried the bacteria. She was released from quarantine in 1910 with strict orders not to work as a cook again. However, she ignored these instructions and soon caused more typhoid fever outbreaks. By 1915, after spreading typhoid fever to 25 people at Sloan Hospital for Women, Mallon was forcibly quarantined on North Brother Island. She stayed there until her death from pneumonia in 1938, continuing to believe that she was unfairly treated. However, a tragic event occurred near the island when the General Slocum steamship caught fire, leading to the deaths of over 1,000 people. Many island staff members assisted in rescuing some of the 332 survivors. This disaster was the worst loss of life in New York until the September 11 attacks. Today, a memorial fountain for the victims is located in Tompkins Square in the East Village. After World War II, the hospital was reopened to accommodate war veterans and later began treating heroin addicts. Sadly, it closed for good in 1963, making it not a recommended place to visit. Number 10. Snake Island. Snake Island, or Ilha de Queimada Grande, is crawling with snakes. It's said there's a snake for every square meter on the island. And these aren't just harmless snakes that might scare you. These are some of the most dangerous snakes in the world, like the golden lancehead viper, whose venom can melt flesh right off your bones. The lancehead viper is found nowhere else in the world. It has a beige-yellow color and a triangular head, and it can grow up to about 120 centimeters long. This viper is often found in trees, where it hunts for birds. Scary, right? That's why the Brazilian government has banned visitors from the island. Only skilled researchers from the Chico Mendes Institute of Biodiversity Conservation, who know how to handle these deadly snakes, are allowed. They can only enter if a doctor is part of their team. The golden lancehead's venom is 5 times stronger than that of the jararaca, another venomous snake found in Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. The venom can cause severe symptoms such as melting flesh, intense pain, nausea, vomiting, blood blisters, bruising, blood and vomit and urine, bleeding in the intestines, kidney failure, brain hemorrhage, and serious muscle damage. However, this venom is also used in medicine to treat high blood pressure and heart disease. Currently, the golden lancehead viper is now endangered, with only about 2,000 of these snakes left on the island. Even though no one lives on Queimada Grande, the Brazilian Navy maintains a small lighthouse there once a year. Visiting the island is only allowed for scientific research and requires special permission from Brazilian authorities. With around 4,000 golden lancehead vipers and some of the most dangerous snakes in the world, it's no wonder that access to the island is strictly forbidden. Number 9. Morgan Island. Morgan Island, popularly known as Monkey Island, is home to a population of about 4,000 rhesus monkeys, which makes South Carolina's Morgan Island the best location for them. Covering 4,489 acres, Morgan Island consists mostly of marshland, with 635 acres of upland. It sits between the Morgan and Coosaw rivers, with St. Helena Sound to the south and Parrot Creek to the north. The marshland includes 3 major tidal creeks and several smaller ones. Though Morgan Island isn't very big, it is entirely uninhabited by people and serves as the main home for these rhesus monkeys. The monkeys mainly live in a 370-acre area of upland that features a semi-tropical maritime forest. Originally, the monkeys on Morgan Island were kept at the Caribbean Primate Research Center in La Parguera, Puerto Rico. However, there were instances of the monkeys escaping and spreading viral herpes B infections, which raised concerns in Puerto Rico. To address this issue, South Carolina offered Morgan Island as a new location for the monkeys. In 1979 and 1980, over 1,400 monkeys were relocated to the island. Nevertheless, as far-fetched as it may seem, this group of primates was not originally from there. They were brought from Puerto Rico because of herpes virus B contamination that had become widespread in the Caribbean region. Before these events, the island was completely unclaimed by humans. Nowadays, there are laws to keep people away from the island to protect both human safety and the monkeys. Only a few scientists from NIAID are allowed to visit. Number 8, Poveglia, Italy. Poveglia Island has the kind of history that you can't even begin to put into words. Lying between Venice and Lido in northern Italy, in the past, this small island was the best dumping ground for dead bodies, a top real estate site for cadavers. In the 17,000s, on account of being a quarantine colony, it was also the dumping ground of choice for bubonic plague victims. In the 18th century, the island was turned into a quarantine station for ships arriving in Venice. When a plague was found on 2 of these ships, the island was sealed off to isolate people with infectious diseases. These events gave rise to legends about terminally ill Venetians being sent to the island to die, with rumors that their ghosts haunted the place. Stories also tell of a doctor who performed crude lobotomies on patients. According to reports, this doctor, driven mad by the ghosts, jumped from the bell tower and died immediately. Even decades after the bell was removed, nearby residents claimed they could still hear it. This island has appeared on paranormal shows like Ghost Adventures and Scariest Places on Earth. It has also been explored by YouTuber Shai and featured in a video by Yes Theory in 2019. Also, in 2023, an Irish YouTuber named Dara Ta visited the island and spent the night there, exploring the abandoned bell tower in search of paranormal activity. At present, though, there is no one living there except ghosts who had once lived a tortured life on the land. Tourists and locals are not allowed to visit the island unless they go through a lengthy paperwork process. This ban fits Italy's goal, as the island is considered one of its spookiest destinations. Number 7, Tomb of Qin Shi Huang, China. The Xi'an's terracotta warriors are among the most significant discoveries ever made. They are found in huge underground burial chambers of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, where thousands of unique lifelike statues representing ancient Chinese soldiers line the walls. But while the site is one of China's most prominent tourist attractions, the tomb itself still remains a guarded mystery. There are rumors that some sort of booby trap has been used to protect it from any intruders. Hence, it will likely remain sealed for the foreseeable future. The tomb has also been reported to contain high levels of mercury that would kill anyone entering without proper safety measures. Our only chance at seeing such a treasure is for these 2,000 warriors to be exposed to the public. It has been alleged that another 6,000 lie in the tomb, together with other priceless items. Today, the Qin Tomb is a unique insight museum, with protective roofing covering the 4 excavated areas. An exhibit hall was opened in 1994, allowing visitors to explore this incredible piece of history. However, due to the fragility and sensitivity of the artifacts, as well as concerns about preservation and conservation, the Qin Tomb is largely off-limits to visitors. The Chinese government has implemented strict measures to protect the site and ensure its preservation for future generations. While some areas are open to controlled tourism, much of the site remains restricted to authorized personnel and archaeologists. Number 6, Mezhgori, Russia. At first glance, Mezhgori might seem like a leftover from the Cold War. In 120 miles away lie Ufa, a republic of Bashkortostan's capital, and Mezhgori nestled right deep into Ural Mountains. This small town was established long before 1979. but rumors conducted it into becoming one nuclear missile base. It has been rumored that remote-controlled missiles, which could be fired without human involvement, may rest within their perimeters. However, the fact that the town is still active and the project at Ural Mountains continues to develop suggests there is more going on here. It's similar to America's Area 51 and its rumored hidden secrets. The only 2 battalions for resistance make sure no other person enters at all. Most information about this place has been gathered only through photos taken by satellites as well as from Moscow, where Mezhgorye is claimed to be used for extracting minerals as well as an emergency safe haven in the event of national leaders' contingencies, alongside storage depot for valuables, jewels, among others. Despite many questions, the Russian government has offered several explanations, none of which are entirely clear or convincing. They have suggested it could be a food storage facility, a shelter for Russian leaders, or a large mining operation. Many people still think there might be a secret base in this area. Only time will reveal if it's a nuclear site. For now, Mezhgorye remains off limits, and its true purpose is still uncertain. Here is our subscribers' pick for today. Certain places around the globe hold secrets that remain undiscovered by most of us. These mysteries are kept hidden out of reach from our gazes. That's what makes them so captivating. Among these destinations are the 15 places where entry is prohibited. Each of these locations has a tale to tell, not just because they are off limits, but because of the secrets they safeguard. From Snake Islands to the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, China, these places ignite our imaginations. Just imagine setting foot in one of these areas. How exciting and forbidden it would be. However, for now, we can only ponder about what lies beyond those restricted access signs. So what do you find most intriguing about these areas? Would you be able to resist the temptation to explore them if given the opportunity? Feel free to share your thoughts, responses, and craziest speculations in the comments section. Number 5. Bohemian Grove, United States. A boys' club is a place where only men are allowed for some special activities, like going out for drinking parties together. A glorious sight for males to go have fun with themselves. Every July, very important persons from all corners of the world gather at the Grove to celebrate 2 weeks of unrestrained debauchery. United States presidents, statesmen, business moguls, and celebrities past and present are also members there. The event has an incantation, "Weaving spiders come not here," meaning that any transactions must not take place while at the venue. Infamously, in 1942, it was rumored that Bohemian Grove had hosted one such meeting about the Manhattan Project, which was behind atomic bomb making, although this claim lacks evidence. To be accepted, you must be a very important person. In other words, you'll never truly fit in here, even if you might want to. Everything that happens within these walls is kept highly confidential. Number 4. Mezhgorye, Russia. There are many exclusive communities, but one of the most secretive is Mezhgorye, a town in the Ural Mountains. It is about 120 miles west of Ufa, the main city of Bashkortostan. Since it was founded in 1979, people have guessed that Mezhgorye might store nuclear missiles, but this has never been confirmed. There are also rumors that long-range missiles with automatic controls might be there, but this is not certain. 2 battalions guard the town so tightly that no one can get in without their permission. For the past 40 years, access has been extremely restricted. The true purpose of Mezhgorye remains unknown. The only information available comes from satellite images. The Kremlin claims that the town is used for mining, serves as an emergency bunker for Russian politicians, or might even be a place where national treasures are stored. However, these claims have not been independently verified. Established in 1979, the small town of Mezhgorye is one of Russia's most secretive locations. It believed that Mezhgorye might have long-range missiles with automatic controls, but this has never been proven. The town is protected by 2 battalions, so no one can enter without permission. About 120 kilometers west of Ufa, Mezhgorye is officially said to be a mining area or an emergency shelter for Russian politicians. The real purpose is not clear, as most of what we know comes from satellite pictures. The Kremlin also hints that it might store national wealth. Despite many rumors, the exact details about Mezhgorye remain unknown. Number 3. The Dome of the Rock, Jerusalem. One of the most sacred places in the world is the Temple Mount. The holiest site for Jews, this temple dates back to the 1st century before Christ. It's the 3rd holiest site for Sunni Muslims after Mecca and Medina. But within the Temple Mount is an even more sacred and exclusive site, the Dome of the Rock. This golden Islamic shrine is the icon of Jerusalem. For centuries, Christian pilgrims were allowed to visit and experience the Temple Mount. However, rising violence against pilgrims in Jerusalem, including the destruction of the Holy Sepulchre, led to the Crusades. They handed the Dome of the Rock over to the Augustinians, who converted it into a church. Meanwhile, the nearby Al-Aqsa Mosque was first used as a royal palace and later, for most of the 12th century, served as the headquarters of the Knights Templar. The Templars, who started their activities around the year 1119, thought that the Dome of the Rock was the location of the Temple of Solomon. They called it the Templum Domini. This belief was so significant that the Dome of the Rock appeared on the official seals of the Order's Grand Masters, such as Everard de Bar and Renaud de Vichier. As a result, the design of the Dome of the Rock soon became a key inspiration for Round Templar churches built throughout Europe. However, there are already rules for visiting the Temple Mount, but the Dome of the Rock's entrance is reserved for those who practice Islam only. Non-Muslims are not allowed inside the holy walls. Number 2. Niihau, United States. Niihau is called the Forbidden Island, and that's not an exaggeration. Even its visibility is hidden. You can only see it as the sun sets over Kauai's Kekaha Beach when its shape appears. This island is off-limits to most people, allowing only the Robinson family, United States Navy personnel, government officials, and guests to visit. Only the islanders can see the island's beauty, all of whom were original inhabitants before it was bought in the 1860s. However, this island features several lakes that provide important wetland habitats for the Hawaiian coot, stilt, and duck. Niihau is also a crucial habitat for the endangered Brighemia insignis, a distinctive Hawaiian plant. Transitioning to its history, in 1864, Elizabeth Sinclair purchased Niihau for $10,000 from the Kingdom of Hawaii, which would be approximately $190,000 today. This island has stayed in the Sinclair family and is now managed by the Robinson family. During World War II, Niihau gained attention for the Niihau incident, where a Japanese pilot crashed on the island after the Pearl Harbor attack and was helped by residents of Japanese descent. Since 1987, a limited number of supervised tours and hunting trips have been offered to tourists. Bruce and Keith Robinson currently manage the island, and its residents are well known for their unique crafts and primarily speak Hawaiian. Moving on to demographic details of this island, the United States Census Bureau includes Niihau and the nearby Lehua Island in a census tract of Kauai County. In the year 2000, the population was 160, predominantly native Hawaiians. By 2010, it had grown to 170, but by 2020, it had decreased to 84. Many residents support themselves through fishing and farming, while others rely on welfare. Everyone lives rent-free, and meat is provided at no cost. Niihau has no telephone service or paved roads. Horses are the main mode of transportation, and bicycles are also used. Without power lines, the island relies on solar power for electricity. There is no plumbing or running water. Water is collected from rain. Most of these conditions were set by the Robinson family. There are no hotels, and groceries are delivered by barge from Kauai, often bought by relatives, with free shipping. Some residents have radios and television sets, but limited reception means TV is mainly used for pre-recorded content. Niihau experiences regular droughts that sometimes force residents to temporarily move to Kauai until the rain returns. People also travel to Kauai for work, medical care, or school, and many consider both islands home. To avoid long boat rides, the island's owners use helicopters for emergencies and to transport Navy contractors and residents to Kauai. Number 1. The Queen's Bedroom, Buckingham Palace. To wrap up, Buckingham Palace is a major global attraction. It is not just a royal home in London, but also the main office of the British monarch. Located in the city of Westminster, the palace is often at the center of state occasions and royal hospitality. Buckingham Palace is enormous, covering an area of 355 feet by 390 feet and standing 80 feet tall. It has a staggering 830,000 square feet of space inside. The palace boasts an impressive 775 rooms, each with its unique purpose. There are 188 bedrooms for staff, 92 offices, and 78 bathrooms. The royal family has 52 bedrooms, and there are 19 grand rooms for special events. But that's not all. The palace also has some amazing extras. There's a post office, a cinema, and even a swimming pool. If someone needs medical attention, there's a doctor's office on site. And for the royal jewelers, there's a workshop where they can create stunning pieces. But while there are public tours of many of the rooms and gardens of the palace, one room is strictly off limits: the Queen's bedroom where she sleeps. That is, of course, unless your name is Michael Fagan, who broke into the Queen's bedroom in the 1980s in one of the biggest security breaches of all time. He climbed a 20-foot wall and pulled himself up a drain pipe, all for a wager with his friends. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.